Achieving financial success takes dedication, discipline, and most importantly, a plan. For over 30 years, Don Reynolds has helped savers define their needs, formulate their plans, and achieve their goals. From accumulation to preservation and protection, and through the income distribution phase in retirement, implementing the right strategies makes all the difference. Your retirement is our business. Welcome to Strategic Asset Preservation.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reynolds Wrap. Of course, Corey, my great friend and business partner, is sitting here with me as always.
Well, thanks, Don, and welcome, everyone.
So today we're going to talk about 401ks. Again, our last episode, if you've listened, we kind of talk about getting started. It's a new year.
Yep.
And so we want to dive into the 401ks a little deeper. The max this year is $23,000 if you're under 50. If you're over 50, you got the catch up, you can go $30,500.
Mm-hmm.
And, we believe that that's very good. I think the key to this is understanding the deferral piece of it,
Mm-hmm.
paying on the taxes later, because simply what that means is you're just kicking the can down the road, as you've heard us talk about. So if you have a Roth 401k, you should seriously look at doing that. Paying the seed, not the harvest.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of people who come in and they don't even realize they might have that option. So they go and ask and find out they do. And of course, they want to make that change. And a lot of people say, well, I'm going to lose my match. Well, you don't lose the match, folks. What happens is the match will continue to go to your traditional 401k because your employer wants the deduction today.
Yeah.
And so that's why they do it that way. But all your money will still go to your 401k Roth. Their match will go into the traditional.
Yeah. It's the most common, available way for us to save for retirement. So that's why we want to do an episode just on 401ks. That could also be a 457, 403B. Those are all basically the same savings plans, if you will, just different IRS tax laws or codes for the different corporations or nonprofits or government entities. That's all that means. But again, it's the most accessible way for folks to save for the future and retirement. But again, not a lot of people understand that if I do save in a traditional 401k, that is tax deferred, not tax free. So I do not pay tax on my money going into there. So if I was under 50, I took advantage of the full $23,000. That is going in there tax free. I'm not paying tax on it if I were to do that in 2024. However, I pay tax on that money when I take it out in the future. Say we're 20 years down the road and now it's 2054 and I'm taking that money out plus growth. Now I'm paying tax on that money, not only on the growth and all the dollars I put in, but at the tax rates in 2054, 20 years down the road. So where are those tax rates going to be? And that's why, again, when our clients and people that we meet with, we look at their current tax environment that they're in. And we also do a tax forward plan to look at where will they be in the future potentially, and where do we think taxes will be? What's the growth on taxes? Because again, if we're just kicking that can down the road, it may make sense, as Don so clearly illustrated, which we appreciate, is that look, if you have a Roth 401k option at your employer, and maybe some of your dollars that you save go there. In a Roth 401k, I pay tax on the dollars I save. So if I save the $23,000, I'm going to pay tax on $23,000 in 2024, but then I don't pay tax on that money ever again. Not only my $23,000, but all the growth I will never pay tax on again as I pull it out. So again, you just got to understand the source of the money and how you save that money and how that affects your future down the road is a big thing, because the 401k, 403Bs, 457s are all the most accessible, easy way for us to save for our retirement.
There's no question about that. And one of the things we do when folks come and meet with us with one of our software programs we have is we will be able to tell you, yes, it makes sense for you to defer that dollars today based on what things look like for you 20 years down the road.
Correct.
As long as we have the budget, what your lifestyle and all this stuff. But I can tell you 9 times out of 10, it's not a good idea. So if you have the Roth, it's better to do it that way. But at least we can do that work up front to really give you great advice as to, maybe you can do half of it in the traditional to defer some taxes, but the rest you want to go to. So I guess my point is that by sitting down and going through your scenario, if you will, or what your needs are going to be long term, we can really help you to make good informed decisions today that won't hurt you down the road.
Correct.
And that's one thing we see a lot of people that happens to is they aren't aware of how the Social Security gets taxed. They don't have any idea how it works.
Yep.
And so they don't even think about it because it's kind of out of a sight, out of mind thing. And that's not a good plan, because most people who didn't plan and now are, getting to that Social Security claiming age, and they're realizing they're going to have 85% of it taxable, and they're not happy.
No, not at all.
And it gets hard for us to fix that.
It does, especially with the good savers, the people that save a lot in that 401k or 403b or 457. So those are the keys. Again, we get asked quite a bit as well. Should I take advantage of my catch up? So if I'm over 50 years old currently in 2024, I can put another 7,500, which would be a total of 30,500 in my 401k. We always ask people, make sure that you look at what your match is, and if you have to give a certain percentage to get that free money in that match. Above that, that's where, again, we can give you some real good advice. So make sure to give us a call and sit down with us on, is it best to save within that 401k above the match amount that you need to give to get that free match, or are there other options to save? And again, we're going to wrap it all around the tax planning piece and make sure you understand what it looks like in your future, folks. Because if I were to just take one kernel of corn, plant that one kernel of corn into the ground, it's going to create, if not one or two cobs of corn, that are going to have hundreds of kernels. So would I rather pay tax on that one kernel and not have to pay tax on those hundreds of kernels it's going to produce? Or would I make sure, let me go in there and pay tax on that one kernel? Now it produces hundreds of kernels. When I grow that, I don't pay tax on that as well. So again, not to continue to come back to that, but it is a big piece, because again, most of us out there, when we get hired, we have our first job, or we've been working for a while, we talk to our coworkers, we have some water cooler talk. It's all about the 401k, 403b, 457, and saving and saving and saving. And we're just saving within that plan, but we're not looking at all the aspects around that plan, how we save it, how we invest it, the tax implications, and what are some other options. So
yeah, and that's a great analogy with the corn, Corey. Another thing too with 401ks I think is very helpful for people is it's systematic.
Yep.
It's one of those things, when you don't see the money, you don't miss it. And one more point we'd like to add is obviously 401ks, that we said systematic saving is the easiest way. And they really are the best way to save for the future, for your retirement. Now, that being said, we don't agree that they're the best program to have when you get to retirement. You've got restrictions with 401ks, with withdrawals.
Yep.
You have less investment options, probably.
Yep.
You got fees there. You're going to have fees outside of that, but they don't provide income.
No,
that's a big thing. And what we talk about in retirement is people need income. The paycheck stops. You built your, we always call a 401k machine. You built your machine, and now it's got to start spitting out income. Yeah. Well, then we get into sequence of returns, risk, and all that stuff. So again, we just want to stress that great way to build for retirement, but not the best program to keep in retirement.
No, and a lot of them have mandatory tax withholding. You don't get to make the election choice. You don't get to, figure out where your tax withholding should appropriately be at. So they might be withholding too much. So again, as Don mentioned, the cumbersome of them, the ways to save. There's a lot of other options out there. Just make sure to explore. And or once you start getting close to and looking at going from my accumulation to my distribution phase, when I start getting to and close to and going to retire, there are a lot of options to then use your 401k to better suit your needs in retirement. And we do a lot of 401k rollovers and different things like that. So that'll be probably another episode as we're kind of reaching our time here. Yep. As you can tell, we're very passionate about this subject because, again, it's a very easy, accessible way for people to save for retirement. And it's probably the highest percentage of where people will save for retirement. But again, there's a lot of stipulations around that we want to make sure our listeners, clients, and people know and are well educated about, so that you can make great decisions today that will not only affect your future, but also help you in the long term. So
exactly,
make sure to give us a call, folks. We'd be honored to sit down and go through this within your personal situation and bring all of these points home for your personal situation and how it can help you in your family. So give us a call at 651-773-3859. Again, phone number is 651-773-3859. We'd be honored to sit down with you and go through this in your personal situation.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, folks.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
See you next time. Have a wonderful day.
Listen to more with Don Reynolds and Corey Still on the Strategic Asset Preservation Podcast by visiting 800preserve.com.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.